Right, this image has been floating around the interwebs, and I thought, right, I'm gonna make a video talking about if I think it's real or not. Need for Speed Heat. I don't really need to say anything else. It's been an up and down roller coaster experience for basically all of us in terms of wanting content, hoping for content, not getting content, and is there any content actually coming to the game anymore? We made a video talking about if we think there's actually going to be any updates, and I said there's a possibility that the War was kind of messed up with it a little bit. This is the same in many areas. For example, E3, Gamescom, all of them are in the bin. There's one specific reason as to why I thought there is probably going to be some further updates. And if you think about it, the new consoles are coming out. And what the developers want to do? Port their games to them, or make ultimate bundles, or keep people playing their games. Even if the games are just available on the next platform, you want to see how much better they're going to make improved versions, and then flood you with DLC so you actually buy it all up and keep it going, keep it funding their development of their game. It's become pretty clear that they're being either very slow or there isn't any more. But this image surfaced, and people are questioning, is this actually legitimate? Is this real? First things, it is actually real. If you go onto the Xbox on the store and you play racing games, it will recommend this to you to play crossplay, which is just bizarre because you realize crossplay isn't available in the game. But maybe that means a future update. Reddit obviously blew up on this. Mixed opinions. People saying, I think it's just something that was left there. I think it's something that's coming in the future. All over the place. What do I think? Again, I don't really have a confirmation as to which way it exactly is. I personally think that, yeah, they could have possibly wanted it and not got it, or they could have possibly planned to have it as DLC and it's not coming, or it could have been planned as DLC and it's still coming. Honestly, it's all open-ended. There's no solid proof as to which, but as I said, I have a reason to believe that they want to keep this game alive. It makes sense, considering the fact that people are going to be jumping to the new platforms and not going to have a Need for Speed game for a whole year. That just seems bizarre to me. I think they're going to keep doing something. I think the virus has really thrown off a lot of developers, not just Need for Speed developers, but Need for Speed in general, along with the closure of Ghost. And honestly, they still have Ghost UK. Ghost UK, I believe, did the photo mode and even the speed list when it came to Need for Speed 2015. Now, Ghost UK is now formed into Criterion. So I wonder if they were working possibly on a crossplay update. Now, picture this, because this could be pretty big. If they do try and go with crossplay, you're like, well, okay, they had crossplay, what else? Wouldn't it make sense for them to add crossplay with a PvP update? Because there's no PvP in Need for Speed Heat, and that is something that people really, really want. That would be an incredible combination. New vehicle pack along with it, as we have been doing normally, but PvP mixed in with crossplay. Now, you're wondering, alright, well, Sony don't like crossplay. They changed their mind. If you haven't realized, Call of Duty added crossplay recently. In FPS games, there's actually quite a bit of a back and forth between having controllers and keyboards and mice are better than controllers. They're faster and easier, but the PlayStation and the Xbox controllers have auto aim assist and all that kind of business. So it's like PC has mods and there's a bunch of issues like this at hand. But could they possibly bring a racing game to that? Because if you think about it, a racing game, what disadvantage is a PC player going to have compared to a console player, or vice versa? In reality, there aren't really any things that could give an advantage. A wheel, well, you can use that on a console as well. The only issue would be cheating, using money cheats or whatever. But who cares? When it comes to PvP on racing games, what you generally find is that they level out. They make it so everybody's the same level, or there's some kind of catch-up or something. A racing game would be brilliant. And what better racing game than Need for Speed, which is the biggest franchise in terms of racing games? Can you imagine how amazing that would be? That's why I wanted to make this video. Even if this is something that they worked on and they thrown in the bin, or they just completely gave up on Need for Speed at this point, I think for the future of Need for Speed, crossplay would be amazing. On the PlayStation terms of things, which is what I mostly play, and the reason I usually play PlayStation is because most people play Need for Speed on PlayStation. There's a bigger player count, there's a bigger install base of PlayStations in general. Well, in terms of smaller markets, it's, for example, Russia and the like, racing games and other games do better on PC. Okay, PC is more readily available. China and the like. Need for Speed Edge, for example, was a dedicated game for the Chinese market, or the Asian market, should I say, and the like. There's a bunch of different areas as to where which platform does better. And in terms of having players come together, that would be amazing. Okay, in any case, in any game, you can explain that, yeah, it would be better if everybody could play in one pool. But racing games have an advantage of the fact that there's no disadvantage to using a certain controller or input type. Even with a wheel, for example, if you were playing a sim racing game, for example, say Gran Turismo came to PC, not that I imagine it will, but say it did, okay? Right, we have Gran Turismo on PC, we have the wheels and the like, great. The console players generally have controllers. You could say, oh, there's a bit of a disadvantage there. But Need for Speed, if you use a wheel on Need for Speed, you're probably at a disadvantage opposed to someone using a controller. If you're using a keyboard and mouse, I've actually come to find that Need for Speed's pretty good with a keyboard and mouse. Honestly, they spend probably a bit too much time on that. But if they look at which people use what inputs, clearly a decent amount of people are using keyboard. I wouldn't say and mouse, because that's... No. I don't know about you, but I'm all for this idea. The idea of bringing the community together, and it would be even better in terms of rap creation, be in terms of crew play, in terms of obvious PvP. Now, we could have some crazy things in here as well, like not even just the PvP and the crossplay. Let's say they introduced a cops and robbers mode along with the PvP. I've already spoken about long time ago what I would like to see online in Need for Speed Heat, and how I would love it to be like a separate thing so that it's not in the theme. It can break the theme a little bit sometimes. So you can lock classes of vehicles, lock performance, races by performance level, types of vehicle, SUV versus hatchbacks. Police cars are in the game. All they did last time in Need for Speed Payback is one of the final updates. They gave us a police car that was in the base game, made the sirens work for us, and gave it to us as an abandoned vehicle. There was no game modes involved with it, but that was testing, I think, to see what people would be interested in actually receiving in the game as that kind of thing. And very clearly, people loved it, because that police car did amazing every time it came around and re-looped back into the abandoned vehicles. People were loving it. People wanted that police car. Well, put it into a game mode. For example, I've already said, in terms of police cars, there's 3 different levels of police car, including the Rhino, there's 4. How about you give a bunch of players that option? 4v4 even, police versus racers. The racers have to get from A to B, and the police have to take them out, and they can respawn, they can respawn, they can respawn. People can come in as rhinos. Maybe you level up as a cop. There's so many like ways you can expand this and make it a proper crazy experience that honestly becomes, if you ultimately want me to boil it down to explain exactly what I'm kind of aiming for here, is a playground for cars. It has the theme of the all drive, so you can jump into all drive with your friends and do that. But once you get into the online segment, it is just an out of this world experience that you can play around with basically any of the vehicles available in the game, maybe even traffic vehicles, because we know they're not as well designed and the like. There's no interior view, but it would just be fun to have a sandbox mode for Need for Speed with crossplay, with PvP and the like. I don't know if this is out of the box crazy. I think in terms of what I can actually expect, if this is actually an upcoming, a real update that is possibly coming to Need for Speed Heat, I think we could see PvP mixed in with this and a couple of other cars. But this would be a brilliant stepping stone. This I would appreciate massively, even if it was just PC and an Xbox, or PC and PlayStation, or do the 2 consoles together. I think bringing in the community of multiple platforms would be fantastic for any game, but especially Need for Speed Heat, because that would definitely bring people back in, keep them playing with their friends and the like. And for those platforms that don't have a massive player count, even if it's just dipped down, because obviously it's been a while since Need for Speed has got anything, the player count's obviously going to come down. Put those pools together, and you're going to have a much better experience playing with other people. Of course, one issue that people had is that they can't actually get into an event with other people, because the only way you can do race versus other players is by waiting for them to invite you, or inviting them and praying to the gods that they'll actually accept, which generally just doesn't happen, which is a shame. This could change that drastically and make it a much more worthwhile experience. They could use this in combination with improving the level cap. Small things like this is all we really require to keep adding to this game. A feature set of different types of races on PvP. I'm talking circuit, sprint, point to point. I'm speaking whatever you can come up with. Lap knockouts would be so much fun. Something that's just out of the box as well. I would love some kind of like a territorial drift zone thing like there was going to be with the Crew v Crew. And I haven't even spent any time talking about they could add Crew v Crew in with this. Can you imagine? Wow, this PC crew versus this PlayStation crew. Live tonight. Me and Kuru. My crew versus Kuru's crew. We're going to go against each other. PC versus PS4. Who has the best player base? It would just be an all-down great experience. But I don't want to go too crazy with it because there is a possibility that this is just leftover or something they were going to do but isn't to be. But I want to close and say that if that is the case, there's a possibility still that that could happen in the next Need for Speed game because they were planning it for this one. Maybe they just didn't have enough time. Maybe they didn't have enough staff and the like. Wow. That was an experience. Alright, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Do you think this would bring you back? PvP, along with crossplay, and along with the next car pack that is supposed to be coming to the game. Would that be enough to bring you back? Or do you think I'm just pulling strings? Because I want to believe. I genuinely want to believe that there is more coming and we're just being delayed by a number of factors because they've not had it easy. No one's had it easy. Do you think this game is in the pile? Or do you think this game is possibly coming back? Alright guys, be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. For more Need for Speed Heat content, you're in the right place. And until next time, peace.